What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of ArmTalk. I'm your host, Jody Williams, and today my guest is the man who has a big-time match coming up later this year. November? Is it November?
November 2nd. Yes,
All
sir.
right. My man, Clinton Pickering. What's up, my man?
Man, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Oh, I can't call it, man. Just, sitting up here working and stuff and getting ready for this Knuckles Up event tomorrow. So I'll be doing some play-by-play for those guys.
Nice.
So tell me something about yourself. You reside in what part of Texas do you live in?
I'm in North Dallas, so right on the edge of Carrollton, North Dallas.
Right on. So tell me, how was the arm wrestling down there?
The arm wrestling down here is good, man. So in this particular area, I would say there's, you got scattered showers of people, but we all meet up either in Denton. I used to practice with the Denton Demigods. That's going to be changing the host of that little practice is moving out of state. Okay. So we're in the process of revamping some things. But other than that, man, when I really want to get some good pulls, if I can't meet up with the Demigods, I go out there and pull with those East Texas boys. So I definitely get some good work. My boys know how to pull.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we got a surprise for everybody watching the show. We got 6 people watching. If we can probably get to like 9, maybe 10, I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag for the surprise.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. But it's the first time for everything, right? So it'll be on the show live. But let's get some more viewers in there. Then we'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. Yes. But other than that, my friend, tell me the team you train with and what is your actual training regimen? Are we training table, gym? How many times a week?
Man, a little bit of everything. I would love to get some more table time, but with work schedules, things like that, sometimes that's not always the case. This year, I tried to make sure I hit almost every tournament I could that was in my area, or if I had to drive, I've been to Louisiana, all over Texas, just pulling. As far as I started pulling in 2020, really. Mm-hmm. And to tell you the truth, that whole first year, I didn't pull anybody. I just did a lot of practicing. I did my homework on the sport. The first person I saw was Sarah Beckman, and she was just pinning guys left and right. And I was like, what is this?
She's no joke. She's no joke.
She's still no joke. Yeah, she got my interest up, and I was watching clips of her. And then I ran into the WAL, and that whole little thing. Everybody's stuck in the house, can't go out for COVID. So that's how I found arm wrestling. Practice for an entire year so that I wouldn't break my arm once I got started. And then my first tournament was Riot in the Ring, I believe, like 2 years ago, I believe.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Hey, now we got 11 viewers watching. We'll probably get more, but I think now we can go ahead and do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever on ArmTalk, live and in person, we have a surprise. My man, tell everybody what you got in your hand.
So this right here is a contract. Of course, you guys, it has Arm Wrestling Uncensored 5. That's where we're going to be doing the match. AW 5 is going to be November 2nd in Houston at the Powder Keg. And, of course, we got Paul Italia in Italia Arm Wrestling Promotions. Most definitely, he's been doing big things, of course. And then we got Powder Keg. So this contract is to arm wrestle Mr. Eric Harlan. Eric Hard R. Harlan is what his nickname is.
Mr. Harlan. So is it left hand, right hand, both?
Left hand. Hand. So that's the arm that he chose that he wanted to be put out his misery in. So
okay, so have you seen any, I know when I go out and I have a match with somebody, what I try to do is train for that person. So what have you seen? Have you seen any kind of video on him or what? What we looking at?
Well, Eric provides a lot of video on himself. So I've definitely seen some video of him pulling. I've seen him practicing. He's practiced with a good group of boys. I've seen him practicing with the Bishop boys. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's definitely a good group to practice with. He looks sturdy. I haven't seen him pull in a pro class.
Right.
I haven't really. I don't know if he's pulled any pro level guys, but as far as putting in the work, he looks like he's putting in what's needed. I don't think it's going to be enough come November 2nd. I just don't. I think he has the heart, but he doesn't have the arm. So we're going to see. We're going to see.
Well, I mean, I'll go off on record by saying this. I yet to see him in person. I never met the guy, just through, video and stuff. And I can tell you this, since October, we'll say, of last year, he has been putting the work in. I mean, he has his YouTube and stuff. He's putting stuff, some work in. And there's some muscle tone going on there and there. So I know he's taking it seriously, but at the same time, like you and I said, haven't seen him pulled in an open tournament yet. He's still in the amateur ranks, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm real curious on how this match is going to go and stuff. And not to let any of your secrets out, but I know when you study things out, do you break everything down as far as where he's put his elbow placement? If you can see if he's staring at the ref on the on the setup, are you seeing pick pointing, all that kind of stuff out?
Well, I know he's uncomfortable with certain setups, but as far as I've seen a couple different styles. I've seen him go in. I've seen him come out. So I think that he has a couple different lanes. When he runs into trouble, he seems to revert to that flop press. So he'll be running. He's going to run into some troubles. So I'm looking for him to maybe try to flop press me, or But what I do know, he's been consistent. I will say that his consistency, you can't knock it. He puts out his videos. He's trying to market himself, which he's doing a good job at. Whether sometimes whether it's good or bad publicity, sometimes that publicity helps. But he's definitely got some lanes that I need to look for when pulling him.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to sell anybody short, and I know now, and we'll go back to what you said when the pandemic hit and everybody was inside. So it's like, all right, now everybody was watching the video on everybody, right? So, I mean, there was a good thing and a bad thing about that. And the way I look at it is like this. You don't want to take anybody for granted, right?
At all.
But at the same time, it's like, all right, while you watching them, they also watching you. So it's a give and take, scenario and stuff, Right. But most of all, you can plan, have a game plan. Don't get me wrong. Have a game plan. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, a lot of it, once you feel it, then you'll know, okay, I can't do this. Now I got to do that. Have you ever experienced that in a match before?
Oh, definitely.
And how'd you, because you pulled Nanya, was it last year?
Yeah. So I pulled Nanya November 2nd last year at 4.5.
Yeah.
Went into that match super confident. But Nanya was the better man. No excuses. He was well prepared.
Mm-hmm.
To tell you the truth, you got that guy that can practice 1,000 different kicks, or you have that guy that practices that one kick 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Nanya was one of those guys. I felt like he was a one-trick pony. He just has that flop press. I really haven't seen him beat guys with anything other than the flop press. But can you beat it? Can you stop it? I was unable to. So I took that L, right and left. I had to stew over that. That's one of the things that helped me get better. I'm not one of those people that just sit in a loss. You know what I mean? So after that loss, I've been training 3-4 times a week. Two of those times, I'm trying to get on the table if I can. And then a lot of the rest of the times it's just going to the gym.
Right. And actually, I was watching some of that match because you and I talked the other day, and you were like, hey, go look at that match. And that was an interesting day because he was also jabbing at Team Popeye and the crew. Don't be messing with Team Popeye, man. First of all, they're some good people. Don't mess with them.
Definitely. Hey, both. That's my family right there, man. I like them guys. They been nothing but supportive. Lil Pop and I are real good friends. That's my guy right there. He's the reason why I'm a premier match with Eric Harlan. That's because
do tell. Yes. Because are y'all the main event or what?
I believe we are definitely one of them. I think I'm the second on the card, I believe. But we're premier. It's a premier match.
Okay.
So because of the Popeyes, definitely.
Gotcha.
Lil Pop specifically. So Definitely love those guys. I've been to their house. I mean, wonderful people. Wonderful people. Can't say enough about it.
So tell me about the AWU, because I don't want to sit there and say anything bad about it, but it's an interesting group.
You gotta have thick skin in that group.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have thick.
And yeah, I'm not gonna go too far down a rabbit hole because, I've been in, involved in some of their group chats, and I had to recently step out of that group chat, and I was like, okay, I can't do this, right? So I didn't want to, deal with that kind of stuff. But tell everybody, and before we get into it, here's a question: is there a weight cap between you and Eric?
The weight cap, he said he's coming in at 205. He believes he'll be coming in at 205. Me, personally, I'm at about 185 right now. I hope to be around maybe 190.
Okay.
So
he's gonna come in about 15 pounds more than you, huh?
Yeah, but a lot of this is head, so I'm not too worried about it. He's real head heavy.
Right. So
I'm not worried.
So about the AWU, they hold events. How many events do they hold a year?
They hold I think 2 events a year.
Okay.
I believe, yeah. So about one every 6 months.
So I know they got one in November and probably one like earlier in the year, I would imagine, right?
Right. So what was it? I believe in February, March, they had AWU 4.5. I pulled in that as well. I pulled Mike Edwards and Valdepenas. I hope I didn't say his name incorrectly, his last name. Valdepenas. So yeah, they don't really they just have the 2 big events that they do. So
Mr. C. Woodrow says, tell Drew his dad is watching and rooting for him.
Hey, Pop, love you, man.
So tell everybody in the chat, what's the atmosphere around it? I mean, I only saw the video where it was you and Nanya, then Nanya versus Popeye, and even Popeye got all like $1,000 right now. I was like, man, this guy kind of crazy. So Tell everybody the atmosphere. If somebody were to go, is this taking place in Houston, right?
Yeah, Houston.
Okay. Tell me, if someone were to attend that event, explain the atmosphere.
I mean, as far as the atmosphere, you're going to get a chance to watch some good arm wrestling. I will say there's some strong guys. They come through, they show out. There's a few pre-bananas in there, you know what I mean? It's one of those things that sometimes a lot of those matches are set so far in the year, and there's people that they cancel, they come back, they leave, they come back. So it's an up and down. But when it come game day, the guys who come to show out is usually the main stars. You got like I think Palmer's pulling. He got like $10,000 on the line with a few different matches. I know I'm pulling.
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah,
before we go, because what you said like got my interest. First of all, Team Popeye says they're all about supporting Drew, so I thought I'd throw that out there,
Appreciate
but
right back.
What you mean? There's like $10,000 up for grabs. What's up?
There's some contracts signed, and William Palmer has stepped up to the plate to show some guys that they're not on the level that they think they're on. Is what he's supposedly going to be doing.
Now, I never met this guy in person, but I have seen him on the 90% show, and he kind of does what he does. I'm thinking, okay, now I'm not trying to here to sit there and badmouth anybody, but
right.
He sounds like a guy that's like, hey, I'll put money up. I'm like, okay, well, here's the thing. Not everybody has that kind of money underneath their couch cushions, right? Let's get that straight. And so, as a veteran of the sport, you kind of go, okay, I understand we live in a society where the social media takes over and you got to promote yourself because who else is going to do it? Totally get that,
Right.
I'm sure there's a way about doing that, but I guess it's working for him because he got somebody to bite. There's a bunch of money on the line, God willing. But we betting paychecks now? Is that what we're doing or what?
Man, he's confident. He feels that he's going to come in there and he's walking home. He's walking out of there with 10 grand. He's going to walk out of there with 9 grand because I think 1,000 of it's mine. Because he's pulling me 8th and 9th
What does that mean? Eighth and ninth.
I'm gonna be his 8th and his 9th match that he's pulling.
How many matches he got?
I know 9 for sure. I don't know how many matches he has. I'm just concerned with my matches.
Wait, let me get this straight. This dude is pulling 9 super matches.
He's pulling 9. Yeah. It might be more, to tell you the truth. I just know I'm his 8th and 9th match, and he's pulling.
Is he for real? Is he actually here on my show? We can say cuss words because we're past the 10-minute mark. So what the fuck is going on? So is I mean, does he have that much money to spend? I mean, he might as well sponsor some people if that's the case.
To tell you the truth, yeah. Until he doesn't, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say he does. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hopefully he comes prepared and brings his money like he's supposed to. There's ways in which I will say Cutler is doing it in a way to make sure that everyone gets their proper pay. So I
hope so.
Yeah,
look, man. Hey.
I'm letting him do him. I just know that when I pin this guy 8th and 9th, I want my 500 for each hand. So,
hey, Drew, I'm gonna say this, man. I've been on the block a long time. I've seen this stuff happens when people sit there and talk all that noise about how much money they got, how much they want to put up. You got to know. I'm like, all right, man, are you going to do this? I don't want to sit there and tell you what to do, but when you put your eggs in that one basket and all of a sudden it's time to go and something happens, right? And all of a sudden it's like, what the fuck, then I don't want nobody getting discouraged. You know what I mean?
Right. Definitely.
Just kind of focus on your match with Eric and go, all right, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But hey, if you ain't got the money, I ain't got nothing to say to you, man.
Right. Oh yeah, if he ain't got the money, I ain't got the time. So as long as he pulls up with the cash, we can bang.
And in about 10 minutes or so, 98% will be on live with Ron Grondin. I'm sure he'll make his way on there at some point tonight. And if I got to get on there and go, hey man, where's all that money coming up from? He got until November, so he got plenty of time. So I don't know if we're talking bonus checks or whatever, but that's a lot of bread to be throwing up there,
He got a couple things against him. He got to make weight too. So
he's a big dude, ain't he?
Yeah. I'm not sure what the weight is that he needs to be. I think maybe 215, 220, something like that. But
did y'all agree on that weight?
He has to work. Yeah, he has some work to go. He has some work.
Okay. So he can't be no more than 215 pounds.
Correct. Or else the whole thing is off for everyone. So
I mean, you know what? I mean, if you're gonna put that much money up, and here's the thing, I'm not trying to knock people, about I don't know what he's done in the sport, but amateur stuff. So it's like, all right, cool, whatever.
Right.
He's even like came after some veterans like me and Paul Cruz. And I'm like, dude, you ain't did nothing in the sport yet. Calm down, But what's that?
We're talking about William Palmer?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's come after us. I mean, but again, he's like across the country. Yeah. I don't want to say he's a keyboard warrior, but he said on a podcast show I was on about how he can do this, that, and the other. I'm like going, you've been pulling amateurs, which is fine. Hey, bravo, pulling amateurs, cool. Yeah. But don't be stepping to the veterans talking that noise and stuff, man. You ain't did nothing yet. But I mean, like I said, there's levels to this sport.
There's levels.
There's levels, and I don't think these guys who try so hard to make a name for themselves, they don't know what's going on. It's like, hey, man, you know what? I applaud you getting his name out there, but there's a certain way you got to do it. But just make sure when you're doing that, you're not stepping on toes or you're not disrespecting the people that paved the way for the newcomers. You know what I mean? Right. So I think sometimes they kind of miss the boat on that. So,
yeah.
Anyway, no, Jody wants a match with Palmer. No, I want nothing to do with Palmer. So, see, what'll happen is that I'll say that, and then he may come back and say, oh, well, Jody's scared. Okay, fine. Whatever. Now, on to you, my friend.
Yes, sir.
What else you got coming up? I know you have a special event coming up on October 12th, right?
October 12th, definitely. We have for a tournament for special needs.
Yeah.
Kids out there in East Texas again. And that's something that a lot of the guys have been going to. My first time was last year. Loved the event. Great event. It's something that I really support. I do have a couple family members who are autistic, so it's something dear to me. So I think that's definitely a great event to pull in. And Originally, I was gonna pull in the tournament, but I have a super match with Robbie Hennigan.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my super match and just call it a day. I want to be able to have enough time to rest up.
Yeah.
That event is October 12th, and then we have the powder keg in November 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to do anything to really put too much of a strain on my arm. You know what I mean? So.
No, I mean, you got to be smart. And, you know, when you have matches lined up, sometimes you have to go, tell me the date for the match. Then go backwards and then kind of go, okay, I can start my training here.
Yeah.
You know, because that way you want to be able to be fresh as possible going into those matches, you know. So come November 2nd, you know, hey, I know where I got to be because I got the potential to pull Eric and probably win. And then I got the potential to smack William and get a ban. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got to make sure you are as healthy as possible. If that means Eric's matches, I mean, what is there like a match order?
Like I said, with Eric being the premier match, I'm going against him first.
Okay.
Oh, I'm getting him out the way, and then I have a right-handed match against Cody Bird.
What you know about him?
I like Cody. Cody's cool. He's definitely gotten a lot stronger. We're real close in strength, I feel. A lot of times when I have pulled Cody, to anybody that's really seen with the naked eye, it looks like I'm strong. But a lot of times when I'm pulling Cody, he's already been pulling, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. You can't watch practice and think you can determine who's stronger. So I've never been able to we've never locked up fresh. And he looked real good. What's the tournament we did in East Texas? Oh man, I can't remember the name. I'm so sorry. It's about a couple weeks ago though. But he was going against Michael Edwards and looked real good. He looked solid the entire tournament, to tell you the truth.
Right. So here, let me ask you this. Since you brought this up,
yeah,
you were saying that sometimes you can't tell how good someone is because of practice. So let me say this. What do you think about when you see somebody at practice to kind of go, huh? Do you gauge that, or how do you gauge that?
Depends on if they're fresh, you know, really kind of what they're doing. Because a lot of times when I pull up at a practice, I'm not 100% anyways. I pull up maybe at 60%. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So for me, I just kind of see what kind of lanes that they're going to go in, really. And when I come to practice, I try to work on specific things. Like when I was getting ready for the Nunya match, all the guys that I was going against, I was specifically asking, hey, hit me with a flop press. I want to be able to stop that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So pretty much watch the kind of lanes that my opponent is going in and try to have those guys pull me in that way. Okay.
And that could be good. I know some of this happens where, hey, I'm going to go ahead and, you know, I'm going to go ahead. I've got my phone. I'm going to go ahead and film something. Mm-hmm. And then you don't know if that was the first match or you don't know if that guy was already pulling 7 other dudes in the after pull. And then they come around this one and all of a sudden here come the phones out and stuff. So it's kind of hard to kind of say where you're at. I know at a practice, it's like, okay, just for me, you may think differently. At a practice, I'm not concerned about getting pinned. I'm trying different things out. That way, when it counts, and I'm on that table at a tournament or a super match or whatnot, then I can try that and see if it works out. But you always want to – I got a bunch of rules in the sport, so I'm going to give you one. You ready?
Right. Let's get it.
Goes like this. Look stupid in practice so you don't look stupid at a tournament. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, so what I mean by that is that I want to try everything I can. If I get pinned or whatever, that's fine. But I got to make sure if I'm going to do that move, I got to hit it over and over and over again. So when it counts, we good.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the things I live by in this sport. So
I see a lot of guys in practice. There's a lot of warriors in practice. But the thing is, for me, if you're practicing with a bent wrist, you know, you're practicing in ways that you're not. For me, I practice how they're going to set me up on that tournament as much as possible. You know, I want that straight wrist, the whole 9. And then at that, like when I practice with the strap, I want the buckle every time. Mm-hmm. Every time I want that buckle.
Here's the thing. Hey, man, when I got in this sport, we have Velcro straps, by the way. So now with the buckle and everything, I mean the plastic buckle, the metal D-ring buckle, whatever. And I've seen a bunch of straps, right? So until recently, the last 5 years, I didn't even realize there was a bad part of the strap. I was like, put strap, I don't even care. I think for me, a lot of it's mental. Now, when you do the fair strap, then it's like, okay, you can kind of alter some things, but I like your thing when you said you want the buckle because eventually you're gonna get it, You don't want to sit there, hey, and here's some strategy for you. You ready for this? Here's some strategy. Let's just say you and I are pulling, right?
Right.
And let's just say the headrest's over here, right? Now, if I want to, I can purposely slip because here's the headrest, right? I will slip because guess where the buckle's going? On my opponent's hand.
Right.
Now, same thing, but now the ref's on this side, that person, I better make sure I don't slip. If you don't want to mind the buckle in your hand.
Right.
So if the headref's on this side pulling right-handed, I ain't slipping.
Got you.
If the headref's on that side, yeah, I'll slip, whatever. Buckle's going to be on his side. There's strategy to this stuff, But, like I said.
People IQ. There's a lot of guys I see that win just because they got a better IQ. And, especially when you pull supers, like, for example, every once in a while I run into Chris Allen, who pulls in the 176 or 198.
Right.
But Chris is one of those guys, when you hit him, if you don't take him to the pad, he's going to make an adjustment. He's not going to pull you the second time the same way he pulled you the first. He makes that quick adjustment, and he's going to punish you for it.
Yeah. So how long you been in the game?
This is my third year.
Okay. And as you go on in this sport, you're going to realize once you get a lot more tournaments under your belt, you're going to realize a lot of it. You'll have a game plan. Okay. I'm going to go in here. I got this. And then once you grip up, you kind of go, all right, what I'm going to do is not going to work. So I got to change. I got to be ready. So like you said earlier in the show about some people being a one-trick pony. Yeah. So there's two ways they can look at that. I got one move and I'm damn good at it. Or, hey, you know what? I want to be good at every single move because if I come in here with one move and they stop that or block that, I better have a plan B or C.
Right.
So look at it this way. I'm gonna give you all kind of advice and info.
Hey, rain it on me.
Everybody in the chat, y'all listening? Listen up. Here we go. So
I'm taking notes.
When it comes to super matches, I look at it as like baseball, okay? Baseball pitcher, okay? If I throw you my fastball and you rocket that bad boy out of the stadium for a home run, I better have his curveball, breaking ball, slider, whatever. In other words, if your go-to move goes, and let's just say for the sake of conversation, you and Eric on November 2nd, you go your best move and he stops it, you better have a backup plan.
Right.
Because now he expects that. Right. And by the way, another thing, when you go down normally, not all the time, but normally, not giving away too many secrets, but normally, if you throw your A game or your ace move, right, he stops it, he pins you, he's going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because normally, why would you change? In the super match, it's like, hey, you got to beat me now because now it's like I'm up 1-0. You got to do a comeback.
Yeah.
So why would he change if he's already up 1-0?
Right.
So I mean, it's a cat and mouse game, a chess game, if you will, about this sport. So I mean, that's just something you can look at too.
That's definitely true. One of the guys that I've arm wrestled with that really has taught me a lot in this sport is my guy Dan Plexman. Can you see his I keep his he gave me a danplexman.com little badge.
Oh, I got one too. Yes. I got one downstairs.
Yeah.
Because he came to my house back in January.
Oh, okay.
Him and his wife were, they were doing their road trip,
Right.
He was in Florida and that kind of stuff. And then he goes, hey, we're going to be traveling through Oregon. You mind if we stop by? I'm like, come on through. Man. So, yeah, I got all that stuff, too, in my garage where we train at. So, yeah.
Good people.
Plexi, my man.
But I learned a lot on the table from him. Like I said, that ride in the ring, I think he was my first or second match.
Yeah.
And I had a war with this guy. But I'm telling you, he has a sticking spot. And when he gets you in that spot, you have to be you got to be a monster to get that guy out of that spot. He is one of the for his size, that guy's one of the strongest guys I've ever gripped up with. I mean, he is monstrous, but he has a great table IQ. He had me get a sheet of paper and put on the pad. And he was teaching me to be able to move my elbow on that pad without crushing that paper. You know, just not staying in the same place, how to, like you said, going in different lanes. Get that outside top roll if it's not in, how to be able to transition without losing what I have already. And so I've learned quite a bit from him. Mike Edwards, Daryl Draper was the guy that really brought me into this sport. He was the first guy I got a chance to pull.
Right.
And, I mean, if you know Daryl Draper, you know, he was at the #1 spot in Texas for a lot of years. And so he was one of the best guys that I could really run into and pull. And pulling him at first, I almost got discouraged because I couldn't budge him, couldn't move him. And he would just let me know, hey, look, there's levels to this, you know, just keep doing and keep practicing, coming in tournaments. And I can give him a better battle now. It's not in a win, but I can give him a better battle. Definitely.
Okay. I got some more advice. You ready for this one?
Got you.
You're a top roller, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if y'all in the chat, if y'all feel free to, you know, comment on this, what I'm about to say. Look what I have in my hand. Okay. So Sharpie. So now, if you're a top roller, this will make sense. You can put a dot on your hand about. Can y'all see that? See that dot?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't see that dot, I know my hand is turned in.
Mm.
So if you really wanted to, Sharpie, boom, dot. So when I line up, if I can see the dot, I know my hand is straight.
Gotcha.
If I can't see the dot, and my hand is turned in, I can't see the dot. Just, you know, so another thing, when you go around and talk to these people, you know, you're going to realize that, okay, they're going to explain stuff to you. You may try them out. It may work for you. It may not work for you. But at the end of the day, you got to find out what works for you best. And that means your style or anything, right?
Right.
So, you know, let's just say somebody were to teach me how to, you know, go into a hook move. If I got 10 different people that's telling me their version and how to proceed that move, out of those 10, one person is going to say something that's like, oh, I get it. It's going to click in, you know? So 3 years in the sport, my man, I'm telling you, I've been here 14 years and I'm still learning here and there, but I'm at a point now I can actually give some advice to it if they're willing to, you know, ask for it or whatnot. I'm cool with that, you know? Right. That's what we do because arm wrestling, let's be real, it's a brotherhood, right? Sisterhood, fraternity, sorority, call it what you want. This is what it is, right?
Yeah.
We're all trying to make each other better, you know? So, yeah, I would applaud. I would, you know, go out there, pick people's brain. Hey, I got a question about this. Yeah, what you got, you know?
Yeah.
Does this work? Does that work? Tell me. I've had people come to me and go, hey, I got a question about this move. What you got? If I can't be there in person, send me video about something, or, you know, hey, do it live and I'm looking at it, you know, I'll go ahead and do that too. That's what we do. So that's the exciting thing about the sport. And I think, you know, you got your head on right. You got your head on straight about what you want to do. Like, hey, all right, I got these matches coming up. I got to be smart, you know, because again, if you got 2 matches on November 2nd, I ain't even talking about the money match. I'm talking about your left-hand match and your right-hand match.
Right.
So you got to make sure you coming in healthy. So this segues to my next question. How much time do you take off prior to you going to a tournament or having a super match?
I like to take off a good 2 weeks for sure. At least I like to take off a good maybe 2-3 weeks, depending. Depending also what kind of training I have. There's certain trainings that I do every day. Every day I do riser. Every day I do cup. Every day, you know. And so, and you know, a lot of that stuff is light work. I don't do too strenuous on it. But then I have my days where I'm trying to max out and see where I'm at, and I always make sure I go by the calendar and make sure I don't max myself, you know, and really break myself down before I have an important match like that. Tournaments, to tell you the truth, so when I first started coming to tournaments, of course, I was pulling amateur. And to be honest with you, I have not won 3 amateur tournaments, but I had guys like Dustin, guys like Chris, Allen, different guys just asking me, hey, why are you pulling in Amis? I say, hey, look, I'm still an amateur. They say, look, if you want to learn, you can pull in the amateurs, but you need to start pulling open. You know?
So let me ask you this. Who told you that you needed 3 wins to get out of amateur? Who told you that?
I thought that was the rule. No one really told me that per se. I just thought that's what it was. You know, I talked with a few different guys that's what they were saying. You have to win three amateur tournaments before you can consider yourself a pro and pull open.
I mean, I guess that's the unwritten rule, but I mean, a lot of it's just like, let's see here. When I first got into the sport, after 6 months, I went open. When I was taking, you know, first it was thirds, then it was first and seconds. After that, I was like, all right, man, because I had that talk with the guy that was training me, saying, look, man, you can stay here and go trophy hunting, or you can up your game and, you know, come play with the big boys. So I was like, all right, let's go ahead and do this. So I mean, it's all, and like I said, everyone's different. Everybody progresses differently in the sport.
Yeah.
You know, I had a teammate who just jumped right in there and never looked back. That's hey, God's gift to arm wrestling. He has all the tools, you know.
He jumped in the pros and never looked back.
Yep.
In the open. Oh yeah. So with me, I was doing well when I first started in the amateurs, and then once I made that decision to, hey, I'm just gonna start pulling nothing but open tournaments. I was getting smacked around, of course, getting smacked around. So then everybody started, in the chats, Pickering sucks and he's not doing this, that, and the other. But I just transitioned from going to amateurs to the open class. You know what I mean? And so now back to my winning ways, a little bit better. I'm starting to come home with some medals, pulling in the open class, but there's still a lot of monsters. And whether it's the 176 or the 198s, there's some monsters down here in Texas. And so I'm just looking forward to try to catch everybody slowly but surely. Some of these been in it for, like I said, you've been in there 12 years. Some of these guys, I mean, how long's Popeye been in there?
About forever.
Forever. Yeah, that's another thing. His right arm, I would love to be able to get a pin on that one day. But I mean, Popeye is a beast on that right arm. So I definitely have some goals ahead of me.
Here's the thing with this sport, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this, because some of us, not all, but some of us put way too much pressure on ourselves where I gotta win. Mm-hmm. If you're worried about winning every single match, then maybe this ain't the sport for you, because they put so much emphasis, and then if they don't win, all the anxiety comes in and depression, all that kind of stuff. It's like, look, man, you're gonna take some L's and you're gonna take some W's. That's just the way it is, right?
Right.
Of course you want to win. I get that.
Yeah.
But sometimes you gotta look at the field. Look who's in your weight class and go, damn, sometimes that'll happen, right?
Yeah, definitely. I understand. But I'm looking forward to the growth and the grind.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I said, I have met a good core group of guys down here in Texas, the East Texas boys, everyone from.
Oh, he must have got a phone call.
Yeah, that's Eric calling me.
Harlan?
Yeah.
How dare you call in the middle of this interview, man? What's wrong with you?
I don't think he really knows how to work social media and stuff like this.
He must want the link.
Or he's a couple in.
Who is Kai Pick? I don't understand who Kai Pick is, man. I'm about to eliminate this.
Yeah, I think. Is it? Oh, yeah, no. I'm not sure. I don't know who that is, to tell you the truth.
I'm gonna get rid of this one, but
all right.
All right, it's just you and me, because I don't know what that was. Anyway, here's the deal, man. So look at it this way. I'm gonna ask you a question. They kind of relate the same, but I want to get your version of it. So when you win, right, a tournament, you're feeling good. What's next for you when you get back to training? What does that look like?
Film, first and foremost.
Okay.
I need to look back at what I did well, what I didn't do. Look back at a lot of film of who's in my weight class, who else pulled, you know, and try to check out some of the guys that I would be going against. I do a lot of that and just really start back from repairing recovery. Man, when I get, whether it's a tournament, super match, practice, whatever it is, I go all in. When I'm practicing, I want to break down my arm as much as possible for the heal up. I like to think that I absorb people's strength. I can arm wrestle somebody stronger than me. He can smack me around on that table, but I'm absorbing that strength. And when I heal up, it's going to be a whole lot different. So
nice. I like that. Now, if you happen to lose, what does that look like training wise?
Film. Back to film. Just really going over what I've done. I got guys like Dan that will watch my match. He'll give me a call or he send me a text and tell me the different things like, hey, look, man, your foot placement was off on this one, you know, this, that, and the other. So I got a good group of guys that will help me really kind of steer me in the right direction. But I like to watch a lot of film, go back over and see how I lost, why I lost. A lot of times when I was losing, I was getting separated from my hand from my body. And so I practiced a lot of band work and keeping myself at center. So it's really when I lose, I go right back to the basics and try to find what I may have left out to take that lesson. Because I only lose when that guy beats me the second time. First time it's a lesson.
Well, I mean, there's strategy with everything. Some people will lose purposely just to go, okay, I want to know how strong he is. Now I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna dish out a little something too. So you know, but I probably would, if it's the best of three, I probably wouldn't do that. But you know, you get where I'm going with that though, right? So you got to look at it this way, where okay, you know, not saying you should do what I do, but if I lose, I'm going back at this footage. I'm watching footage. What did I do wrong? Oh, okay. I was too busy staring at the referee, or I wasn't tight enough, or I missed the go. It's always something. And I'm watching over and over, okay, hey, was my wrist straight? And like you said, people practice like this. Right. Hey, man, you're not going to start a tournament like that. Go ahead and straighten that up. But never let them do this, though. You may think, oh, okay, yeah, I got him. So and this is where people forget this, too, because we all know we don't want nobody starting like that, correct?
Oh, yeah.
You want them to start with their wrist straight. That's cool. And normally with a top roller, if your opponent's like this, oh, I'm taking that. Problem is, if they're a flop wrist press, then that's their advantage. Right. That's their advantage. So no, you want that straight, because all they want to do when they want to go for a flop, all they're trying to do is get this meat part of their hand up in there. So all they got to do is, you see where my shoulder is, right? They want to just go ahead and drive on down that. So that's a no-no also. Okay, make sure it's even Steven. When they say go, do what you want, right?
Right. Oh, because if I don't like the setup, we're going in ref's grip. If I don't like that setup, I'm gonna keep moving until we get in that ref's grip. So, and from there, and I hope it to be my game, but I'm not scared when it comes. A lot of guys don't like pulling in the strap. I don't mind that deep water.
So hold on, let me ask you this, because I know this happened to you before at some point when they say, "Hey man, you want us to go into the strap?" What do you say?
No. Nope. I'm not gonna give you what you want. You're gonna earn it, but I'm not gonna give you what you want. And see, me, I'm a stamina guy. So if I can get you on that table again and have you try to pull away to get it, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take as much advantage as I can to bleed that arm.
Right. So. Well, the reason why I ask that is because that seems to be the thing nowadays, where now pulling in a strap is an actual style now.
Yeah.
What I mean is that if someone says, "Hey, you want to go to the straps?" If you say no, they're gonna find a way to do it anyway.
Right.
Well, then I'm gonna just now we're into the strap. Now you go my game. So I'm thinking, okay, which means he ain't trying to pull me anyway. So there's a couple things to look at. One, you can go, hey, you know, if someone asks you, hey, Drew, you want to go on the strap? You can be like, you want to go on the rest grip? Because then they can't sit there, because all they're trying to do is trying to sit there and maneuver and get all, you know, whatever stuff they want to try to do. You can't do that in the rest grip. I bet, yeah, you want to get in the rest grip? Because then you got to straighten that stuff up. You know what I'm saying? So there's always that. And by the way, with the strap thing, it's like sometimes you got to be careful. Always pay attention to what's going on around you.
Right.
You'll feel the pressure. You'll feel them probably jam up into you, sliding the elbow forward, sliding it back, or they'll take one knee and they're all like this and stuff. And then they come in here and they, you know.
If you're eating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, though, when you're a referee, and I've refereed a lot of tournaments before, you see that more when you ref matches before, and then you go to compete. You see things you normally don't see before because you are ref and you do see that. So,
yeah, but listen, some of the things I try not to leave in the ref's hands. You know, if I get this guy pinned and out of there, and I have the ref in the match, especially when you're pulling, which I will say for the most part, going out of town and pulling different areas, the reffing has still been solid. I really, I haven't had too many complaints on reffing. So, but when I first started pulling, I used to think that, hey, look, if I go to Louisiana and I'm pulling the Louisiana boys and there's the Louisiana refs, is it going to be? But it's been pretty good. There's been some solid group of refs that I've been able to be refed under. So,
I get it, man.
Question, because if you don't mind, I know this is your podcast and all.
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
What do you feel about the King's move?
I wouldn't recommend it for a new person.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But like for example, being in the strap, as far as like a defensive move, is it something that I hear a lot of people talk down on it, but then I hear the elites like Michael Todd, even Devin, speak well of it. Why is it hated in the way it is?
The way Michael Todd used to do it in WAL, he would actually be squatting down, and he has a bone lock, and so you just rest in your arm basically, But you got to realize Michael Todd busted his arm like I don't know how many times over the years, It wasn't a legit move, But let's be real. There's only 3 styles of arm wrestling, right? And there's styles that branch off those 3. You got the hook move, right? So that's the predominantly inside move. So what comes after a hook? Oh, shoulder press, flop wrist, cool. You got the top roll. What comes after the top roll? Low hand top roll, full hand top roll. Then you got the
defensive top roll.
Right. Then you got the hook. You got all kind of stuff. So it's inside, outside, press, all that kind of stuff. And then you got other moves that branch off of that. I will say this though. I think Michael has evolved into now, once you have pronation, it's all right. Where before he just go like this, and it's like try to go ahead and you got to break my arm to beat me. That was his philosophy. To me, it's a bitch to try to go against, but just know this: you can't be in a hurry. You got to wear that person out. I mean, that's my experience with pulling somebody that did do that. I wouldn't recommend it. I would say this though. What's that?
You ever pull Crazy George?
No.
Never got you. Okay. I
do have a win. I have a couple wins with that move because it was a situation where I got caught out of position. I go to hit, he brought me back, and I kind of went to snap it around like that, and I'm stuck here. So then it's like, okay, this is basically your King's move. I'm out here, right?
Right.
But if you look, my hand's up, my shoulder's not below the table. I'm not here. But then I had a surge, and then as I was doing this, surging, look where I'm at now. I started here, but I'm just surging. When I'm surging like that, I can get behind it and then press down, or I can get behind it and go over like that. So it was nothing I planned to do. And you'll realize this too. There are certain moves you don't know you had until you're forced to be in that.
Right. Definitely. That King's move is not nothing that I just practice, but I've gotten caught in it, having to use it. And then my last question before I sign this document, right here real quick. I think that's the reason why Eric was calling, is where do you see arm wrestling in 5 years? Do you see it maybe breaking off into the Olympics? How much bigger do you see it growing than it is now with the use of social media and everything else? Where do you see this sport in 5 years?
Well, that's a loaded question. and watch everybody. Y'all gonna chime. Everybody in the chat gonna chime in when I'm about to say it, because this might be a soapbox. Lately, with all the people getting banned, all that dumb shit, I think it's stupid. But we've all been trying to get this sport into the Olympics for years and years and years. The way I see it now, the World Championships is the Olympics. That's just the way I see it. But you got to implement drug testing. That stuff costs money, you know. Social media is good and bad for arm wrestling, right? Because well, it's good because we're getting, you know, eyes on it. But some of the stuff we're seeing is not real arm wrestling. And it kind of rubs people the wrong way. So I'll give you an example. Do you remember back in January this year at Arm Gods, they had a thumbtack match?
Yeah.
That's not a wrestling fucking gimmick match. Like, what are we doing here? So I understand what they were doing. And now I spoke on it.
Who's that?
Huh?
That was Uncle John?
Yeah.
And who else did he go? I can't remember.
He was pulling Evan Burgoyne. Now, this is not anything against those two, just the match itself. But look, on that card, you had Tim Bresnan, Ron Bath, RVJ, and those legit veterans, elite pullers took a backseat to that gimmick match. Now, at the time, I called it out what it was, and I got so much hate, man, that the haterade was flowing, all right? Yes, the haterade.
Yeah.
Strawberry kiwi flavored haterade was flowing, you know, because they try to tell me and everyone try to tell the whole world that this is how arm wrestling is. No, it's not. It's not fucking arm. Why would you have a pin pad full of thumbtacks? What for? What? I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to get more eyes on the sport. But I'll say this though. Now,
McMahon style.
Yeah, let's just say. But see, now 6 months later, they finally admitted, yeah, it was a gimmick match. That's all you had to fucking say in the first place. Don't try to jump on me down my throat about my opinions. I thought it was fucking shit. Now I'll say this though. Let's just say their intentions were, hey, I think we want to get people who don't know about the sport involved. And it could, hey, we live in a world now. This is 2024. We like to see the car wrecks.
Yeah, controversy.
1980, somebody got in a car wreck. Oh, let me go help them out. You okay? Nowadays, let me get my phone so I can watch this shit. That's the world we live in right now. So my point being, where I'm going with this is going like this. Yes, Drew, I know 98 is live, by the way. I'll jump on it in a sec. Now, I'll say this. If you're trying to get eyes on the sport from the people who don't know about arm wrestling, I get that. But let me ask you this, though. If they see that and go, ooh, arm wrestling's pretty cool, they go watch East vs. West. They go watch King of Table. And they don't see that, they're going to be like, where's the thumbtacks? How come no one's fighting? You see what I'm saying? Are those same people going to stick around? Because they came for the car wreck, but when they realize there's more to it than just that, are they going to really stick around?
Right. True.
But again, that's just my opinion. I'm not saying my opinion is correct. That's just where I stand at. But get back to your question, where I see it in 5 years. Honestly, if promoters in the U.S. will stop fighting one another, we can do great things. But they're too busy greed and fight. I mean, hell, for years and years, we got laughed at because we had 3 nationals at one point. Think about that. What other country has 3 nationals, right? You had one that actually got you to the path of the WAP World Championships, a second one that used to have the path, but they just kept it in the AAA, and then you got the USAA, which is Denise and Leonard, but they decided to change their name to the USA Internationals because they got offered money and that kind of stuff at their events, and they have people internationally come and pull their event. So we had 3 nationals, right? You know, if you want to make this sport good, we all need to unite. But there's too many, you know, people going, no, what I want to do is right. Well, I'm going to go do my thing. It's like, okay, guys, what are we doing here? We need to stop fighting amongst each other. But the good thing about having all these different promotions is that there's a spotlight for everybody. There's a path for everyone. Because the only danger about that, and I feel, is that you remember WAL, right? It got to a point, what happened? When they first came out, it was tournament-based. West region, East region, whatever. They had different regions for tournaments, and they all came to Vegas for the finals. That was cool.
And they was dishing out money.
What's that?
They was dishing out some money, too. When they like $20,000 for first.
Yeah. You know, when you got a piece of that pie, it was cool. But then after a while, and when it morphed into super match, it was cool because it was something different. Problem is, though, now everybody's on the outside looking in. And if you got the call, whatever, if you're like one of the 30 people on that roster, you were good. But if you weren't, you're like, what's up? After a while, those same 30 people, you start regurgitating the same matches over and over. How many times did we see Michael Todd and Jerry go at it? How many times do we see, you know, seriously, I mean, you guys, how many times do we see that match over and over again, right? Devin and Michael.
I think the reason why we saw that match is because the first one was a banger.
Oh, I get it.
You know, so that might be the reason, but you are right. You know, there were some matches that, you know, you had to see a couple times type deal. I came in at the end of WAL. I think I got caught 4 or 5, and I catch a lot of them on YouTube because I keep my TV set on arm wrestling. So, but
I mean, we saw Devin and Michael at Wall. We saw Devin and Michael at King of the Table. Do you see what I'm saying? Like when you reduce it down to one organization, and then those people pick their people, then the rest of us are out at Nicole going, "What the fuck," you know?
Yeah.
Then they're all going, you know, the people trying to watch the sport is going to think, "Oh, it's only these guys." No, this sport is way bigger than just that. But now you have other organizations, AWC, Global Elite, Knuckles Up, Monster Factory, Arm Gods, Arm Wars, Flashpin Productions, Montana Armbender, aside from the other like Florida Arm Wrestling League, all that other stuff, UAL. Right. Once you get that stuff going on, Winter Blast, now all of a sudden there's a platform for a lot more people than just the elite. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, I'm a fan. I'll still watch it, but I'm glad that everybody else is getting an opportunity to showcase their talents, like yourself at AWU, right? You get the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? Because you never know, with social media watching, you may catch somebody's eye and be like, hey, let me see what's up with this dude. Let me go ahead and watch what else he got going on. That's the good thing about that, you know?
AWU 5.0, November 2nd at Powder Keg.
Yeah.
That was for you, Cut Law. But check this out. I'm going to go ahead and sign this right now.
Make it official at the 57:34 mark.
It is official. Right there. Can you see it?
Oh, I see it, man. I see the Paul Italia logo. I see the AWU logo. So, it's official.
Yeah. It is official. Mr. Eric Harlan, you are now in deep water, buddy. I hope you've been practicing. I hope you've been taking care of your business. Listen, man, I have enjoyed being on your podcast, brother. I know that you have a lot of things. I think were they waiting on you at 98? I just wanted to say a couple.
They'll go on without me, but I'll chime in whenever I get, a chance.
So, December 7th in Dallas, I'm throwing in another event. I threw one a couple years ago, Battle of Arms in Dallas, and it was a great event. Nice turnout. This one's going to be even better. We have some ranking matches on the card.
Okay.
We have our which we a buddy of mine and I came up with a 3v3, 3 versus 3 type.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited. We ran a little mock of it at Michael Edwards' house. He repped it, and it went through solid. So we're gonna try to do a little something like that at the tournament as well, at the Supers match, and see how that goes over. But I'm extra excited to see how that goes, just to try to put a little spin and something new on arm wrestling. More than anything else, for me, my goal was to be as good as I could be in this sport, but I want to be one of the best ambassadors for the sport. I want to be able to put a lot of eyes on the sport that I love so much. And so that is one of the ways that I feel I could give back is I used to do music and entertainment for a lot of years out here in Dallas. So I have a nice little crowd of people that love to be entertained. And I'm going to take that crowd and I'm going to put an arm wrestling venue in front of them. And they're going to love it. They're going to love it. December 7th, right here in Dallas at Buffalo Joe's. It's going to be spectacular. Spectacular.
Well, you know what? I'm curious to know, what that format's going to look like. Because again, what makes it intriguing that no one's ever done it before. So it's kind of like, I want to see how this works out,
Right. Well, it's gonna not to talk too much about it, but it's more of a thing where you watch it play out. But definitely, it's you got 3 guys that's gonna be on each team, and you picking. Let's say we picking at the 198, right? You have 3 guys on that team. You got 3 198s on the other side. You have a coach on each side. That coach picks the hand, picks who goes up, and how the match goes. So, for example, let's say you and I are coaches, Jody.
Yeah.
Right? We have 3 guys. You say you want to pick. Let's use some professional guys. You got Monster Michael Todd. I have Devin Lorette.
Okay.
Start the match, instead of doing a coin flip, we're gonna have those guys arm wrestle. Well, let's say, for example, when Monster Michael Todd gets up there, he wants to go left hand. Okay, then we flip a coin. If you won that coin, boom, we go left hand. If he wins, then you get the power to choose. So that first match, each guy is allowed to arm wrestle 3 times, but no one is allowed to go more than twice in a row.
Okay.
Have to have a breaking point on there. You get 1 call back. So let's say the guy that I have up doesn't match well with your guy, you get to have 1 call back. All right.
For the match itself, or the matchup?
For the matchup, for the whole match itself.
Okay.
For the whole match itself, you only get 1 call back. Right. But these guys they're gonna be doing some wars, man. First to 5 pins wins.
I think,
it's gonna be a great setup, man. And then you get to pick the hand. So let's say, for example, you say, hey, look, I want Michael Todd going left hand against RVG. You get to pick that. You have to keep it in, you got to keep up with what hand is being used, the whole 9, and you just get to coach it out. So it's something, like I said, it's when you get to see it actually played out. I don't think I'm doing it good enough justice in explaining it. I'm so excited about it, but when you get to see it played out, it's going to be very exciting to watch.
Nice. I like that idea, boy. I can't wait. You said December 7th?
December 7th. Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's going to be from 4 to 5. It's a Saturday, of course. And so, it's right there at Buffalo Joe's in Dallas, Texas. And this is where we had our first one. This is going to be the second one. And we have a few guys coming back that pulled from the first year. And it's going to be spectacular. Something that you want to catch.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how this all pans out, man. But hey, my man, I want to thank you for joining me on the show, man. It was awesome. And for the first ever, everyone, there was a contract signing for November 2nd. Okay. Yes. Houston, Texas, AWU, live and in person. My man, Mr. Pickering, Drews, Eric Harlan, best of 5. Don't miss it. And hopefully my man William comes up with that chunk of change, because my man, you got an opportunity to win a band. So hopefully all that works out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. November 2nd is definitely going to be very exciting to watch. Before I leave, I know you've been seeing this right here. The guys that know me know that I'm all about War Tug. This is my family and I started a sport from the ground up called War Tug.
Okay.
Trademarked it 09, and we're just trying to grow it and put it hopefully get it on the same page as arm wrestling, and have it grow up together. But that's
you have
my
a link?
baby. Oh yeah, most definitely. We're .com, .org, .net.
Hey, so when we got the show, send me that, and then I'll go ahead. I'll post that on social media.
Yeah, wartug.net, .org, .com. Very excited. Thank you very much for the opportunity. This is the first time I've ever gotten a chance to do a podcast without jumping on. I've done I've jumped on the 98 and was it Paul Italia's podcast as well for 5 minutes here, but this is the first time I've gotten a chance to sit down for over an hour and get a chance to chop it up. I appreciate it.
Hey man, we just talking, man. No need to feel pressure. We just chit-chatting. It's just you got viewers watching. That's all there is to it. You know what I mean? So my man, I'm gonna let you go enjoy yourself. I'm gonna jump on this 98, see what they're all about before I head into work tonight. But my man, we'll keep in touch, and we'll talk way before your match. And if you got any questions, man, come holler at me, man. We'll get some stuff done.
I got you. Peace and blessings, brother.
All right, man. Take care. Take care.